Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about something that's very, very important if you're going to make a success of your leather craft, and that's skiving. You have to be able to skive your leather properly, and then also in skiving your leather, you must have the technique and the skill of doing it properly so that you don't cut holes into your leather. It just makes no sense if you're going to spend a lot of time creating the pattern, drawing out the pattern on the leather, cutting out the leather pieces, only for you to cut holes into it when you're skiving. So skiving is very important because when you join two pieces of leather together like so, you would have a bulge. Sometimes you want that to be a seamless joint so that when you join these two pieces together here, you don't find this bulge right here. You want it to be flush. You want it to be the same height altogether. It just makes for better aesthetics. It looks better that way. Your work looks more professional. You would also find that sometimes you'd have a sewing machine that cannot handle a bulge or thickness of leather that you will get if you do not skive, especially if you're making things like wallets where you're going to have to, couple several pieces of leather together. The bulge actually builds up. And sometimes, at least for beginners, the sewing machine that you have is not able to deal with such thickness of leather. That's also one thing that skiving helps you to do. When you skive down the leather, you bring down the thickness to the barest minimum, and you're able to sew with the machine that you have, at least at the beginner level. So let's get right into it. What do you need to skive leather? Obviously, you need a skiving knife. Now, this tutorial is targeted at beginners, and I understand that when you're beginning leathercraft, you may not be able to have professional grade equipment and tools. So this knife is pretty much all you need if you're going to do some pretty good standard leather skiving. It is basically a hacksaw blade, like this one, an old hacksaw blade that I have taken it to the grinder and ground it to an angle. I think this is a 30 degrees angle on the other way. So you tape it like so. Mark off your 30 degrees angle so that when you take it to the grinder, you grind out all this part. And then I have done the extra thing of covering it with a piece of leather so that it doesn't hurt my hand when I'm sewing it. Just makes also for better maneuverability of this particular knife. So that's it about a knife. Is basically a piece of hacksaw blade. I have professional grade knives. I have this one here that's called a Japanese skiving knife. I really typically don't use it. I've not gotten a hang of how to use it basically. So most times it just lies in my shop as a piece of equipment that I really do not use. So yeah, if you know how to use this, you could basically use it, but I really don't use that. Now let's get back to it. So I said you need a skiving knife. You need something to sharpen your knife with. If you're going to skive and get it done properly, you need an extremely sharp knife. You need a knife that is extremely sharp. Now this tutorial, like I said, is targeted at beginners. Getting professional grade sharpening equipment might be out of your reach, and really all you need might just be a piece of bathroom tiles, broken piece of bathroom tiles, an excellent sharpening stone that you can use to sharpen your knives. Then you need a flat surface, a flat hard surface. This is a piece of marble. If you get a piece of granite, that would also work. I do not recommend floor tiles because they have glaze on the top of it that's a little bit too slippery that you would want. So granite, marble will do it. If you have glass, that may work, but never really tried it. I see some people do it. You could try it and see what kind of results you get. Then you need what is called a strop. They are professional grade strops, but this is just a DIY strop that I have. It's just a piece of wood that I have glued a piece of leather on top of it. That's just what it is. Piece of wood, you glue on a piece of leather on top of it. That's it for strop. Now, first thing you have to do when you're trying to skive is you're going to have to sharpen your knife. How I do it is you take your bathroom tiles, give it something to rest on, and then just grind away on the bathroom tiles. The back part of the bathroom tile as you do it, the knife actually gets very hot, so be careful so you don't burn your fingers. Now, as you do it, you'll notice that a fine powder is being built up as you grind away on this stone. Now, that's very, very important. Don't waste that powder that comes out as you grind. You need it for the strop. So you just keep grinding. You can do like 50 to 100 passes. Remember what I said, you need an extremely sharp knife. Then you do on the reverse side. Now, remember what I said, when you're grinding, some powder gets formed that mix with particles of the metal that you are grinding off the knife. Take that powder and pour it onto your strop. Makes for an excellent stropping compound. Then all you need to do is to pass your knife around the strop like so. It strops your knife excellently. Now this knife is very, very sharp at the moment. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it is razor sharp. I don't know if it can cut hair, but it definitely can skive leather. Let's give it a test. So this is a piece of leather that I'll typically use for making things like wallets, shoes. It's not vegetable tanned, but it's easy peasy for this knife. You take it slow. There we go. Something else you have to note when you're skiving leather, don't get greedy. Take it one step at a time. You don't start all the way from here and expect to skive in one fluid moment and in one fluid motion all the way down. Some professional skivers can do that, but when you're starting, my advice would be take it one step at a time. You could do just one part, then you go to the next part, then you go to the next part, and before you know it, you're done with your skiving. You see, it's not cutting any holes. I'm really not exerting so much pressure in trying to skive this leather. And when you feel that your knife is blunting out, you just strop it once again. For me, if I'm working on a pair of shoes and I sharpen the knife just one time, I could get by skiving all of my pieces by just dropping it once the leather just gets a tad bit blunt. If I start noticing that I'm beginning to apply too much pressure, I strop it and then I'm good to go. So let's continue. There we go. Let's try another piece. Look at that. So that's basically what I wanted to show you about skiving leather. It's not such a difficult thing to do. If you have a very sharp knife, you could do it and do it properly. I hope you learned something. Like and share this video if it helps you. Also, if you've not done that already, subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.